program are those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily reflect the views of Real TV, its affiliates, or sponsors. The views...
To all of our local, regional, and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. A very warm welcome to another edition of the program, Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook, with Real TV, so you could take notes on important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, we've got Josiah Portillo, and on behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive, and great day today. I trust all is well with you. Happy Friday. It's Friday, the 24th of April, 2026. My friends, let me gently remind you, it is a day and time we will never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. Do something productive and constructive with your day and your time, all right? And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. That's someone special. Don't take life for granted. Don't take your loved ones for granted. Tomorrow is not promised, all right? Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. That's very deep, Josiah. It's a very, very deep message, and we can interpret this in many ways. But life is never the same twice. You always have a first time for that first impression. And even if you do things repeatedly, it's never the same. It's always different, because it's a different day, a different time, and even you being a different person in the perspective of how life presents itself. Yeah? Thank you for that, Josiah. And of course, that came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. Let's quickly go to the ad, please.
Looking for something truly unique this season? Then you need to visit Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. Brand new containers have just arrived, packed with one-of-a-kind garments you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're shopping for something stylish, traditional, or custom-made, we've got you covered with made-to-order pieces tailored just for you. And it doesn't stop there. Take a stroll through our full food court, offering delicious options for the entire family. From savory bites to sweet treats, there's something for everyone. Plus, don't miss our big sale on furniture. Upgrade your home with beautiful pieces at unbeatable prices. So come on down to the Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas, where culture, style, and savings come together.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa. You say nothing is the same. Josiah changed things up a little bit on me, just like that. So welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, to all of our local, regional, and international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. Today I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramtahal. He's a social welfare advisor. He's certainly no stranger to us here at Real TV. He is indeed a strength and a force to be reckoned with. Mr. Ramtahal served this land for many years in that capacity in social welfare. He's trained and certified, and so he is the right fit in terms of guiding us, in terms of giving us information, and knowledge is power, as you know. And today he's going to discuss the public assistance grant. Good morning, sir, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much, Zelisa, and as usual, it is my pleasure to be here to share whatever knowledge I have to the benefit of our population.
Yes, thank you.
So today we are going to discuss the public assistance grant. The public assistance grant is provided to meet the needs of persons where the household income is deemed inadequate. And I would like to repeat that. The public assistance grant is provided to meet the need of persons where the household income is deemed inadequate. Such a person may include an individual 18 years and over who is certified by a government medical officer as unable to earn a living due to a physical or mental disability. All right? I think I should repeat that. Such a person who will qualify is an individual 18 years and over who is certified by a government medical officer as unable to earn a living due to a physical or mental disability. All right? A person receiving senior citizen's pension whose spouse is 55 years and over and unemployed, or whose spouse is under 55 years but unable to work due to physical or mental disability. Okay? That's another condition. And I'll repeat it for the benefit of our viewers and listeners. A person receiving senior citizen's pension whose spouse is 55 years and over and unemployed, but unable to work due to physical or mental disability. So that person can qualify for the public assistance grant as well. Also, an individual whose deceased spouse receives senior citizens pension and public assistance on behalf of the spouse over 55 years of age. Right? So an individual whose deceased spouse receives senior citizens pension and public assistance on behalf of the spouse over 55 years. Good. So these are persons who would qualify to receive the public assistance grant. You see, we must remember we do not contribute to the public assistance grant or any grant from under the social welfare department.
Correct.
It's an act of government to assist those citizens who have found themselves in some form of financial difficulty.
Right.
And therefore, that's why we have social welfare officers who are assigned to districts. They are assigned to certain districts referred to as local boards. And at these local boards, they are reassigned to different areas to cover the entire region. Okay? Who else can qualify? A single parent who's unable to earn a living due to caring for a child with a physical or mental disability.
So if your child is
challenged
health-wise, and you mentioned single parent.
Yes, single parent before.
Right. So if you are a single parent, a man or a woman, and your child or children, sometimes you have more than one, that are challenged via health, you can get some assistance.
Right. Also, a parent, guardian, or custodian on behalf of a child with a physical or mental disability. Right? So such a person would qualify for the public assistance grant.
Understood.
Also, a person on behalf of a child whose parent is deceased, imprisoned, or has abandoned the family and does not provide support despite there being an application or an order for maintenance.
Repeat that.
Yes, we must repeat this. A person who would qualify for the public assistance grant. Such a person may include a person on behalf of a child whose parent is deceased, imprisoned, or has abandoned the family and does not provide support despite being an application order for maintenance. So chances are the father does not support. The mother may take the father to court to apply for assistance for the child. An order might be made by the magistrate for the father to, to supply support. But unfortunately, he does not support either through unemployment or illness or other situation.
Or just a deadbeat father.
Yes, exactly.
Just
we have lots of those.
Lots of those who will not take the duty and responsibility of a
Duty.
father seriously. Whether you choose to be with the mother or not, it is your duty and responsibility to take care of your child or children. That is your duty and responsibility. Once you are the father, it is your child. Whether what differences you may have with the mother, you could live with her, you can't live with her. We're not getting into that because you don't have to love somebody, right? You could fall out of love. But the point is, things may not work out the way you expected it in the beginning. But your child is your child for life, and that is your duty and responsibility to take care of them.
And I'm glad you emphasized that point,
Yes.
because there are a lot of deadbeat fathers.
Many. Mothers too.
Yeah. Both
who just don't care. They're just not bothered. They walk out, they live their life as if they have no responsibilities or no duty or no commitment. And they go on and they live, they create other families, or they just live life large and not bothered or cared or committed to thinking, I need to contribute to help this child or children. They just walk away. And that is very, very sad when you don't take that commitment, that responsibility seriously,
Who else may qualify for a public assistance grant? The spouse of a person serving a term of imprisonment.
Okay.
All right, that's another category of persons who would qualify for the public assistance grant.
Yeah, and there are many people who choose the wrong path in life, end up in prison, and their children are, left unattended or cared for. And it is by the goodness and kindness of maybe family, friends, sometimes a neighbor, or people, or the parents or aunties or uncles or godparents step in and say, well, this is my duty and I will take care of. But they also have commitments to their family. And of course, I'm happy to know that the government will step in and assist people, and children in particular, in such situations, because they should not pay for the sin of a parent, right? They didn't ask to come into this world. They did not ask to be in this situation. And so I applaud the authorities for helping children in such situations, because when you give the grant, it is to help provide for the children.
Yes. And the children are the innocent ones in
Of
the
course,
whole
they were not
situation.
asked. Every child that's born to
right.
ask to come into this world, and so it is important that children are cared for and taken care of.
That's right. Who else qualifies for the public assistance grant? A person who was cohabitating with a person of the opposite sex for a period of at least 3 years before the latter began serving a term of imprisonment.
Right.
So if the head of the household has gone to prison, then the wife or the female companion can qualify for the grant on behalf of
now,
children.
you talk about a wife, which is a legitimate a marriage, but then there are people who live together. They don't get married. They're not committed in that way. How can that person who's been living with somebody, they have a family, have established a family, how then do they qualify? What do they prove that, okay, I am or was living with this person. This person is the father or mother of my children, and I'm entitled to get assistance.
If there are children out of the relationship, then the mother can apply and will surely get it, because the father, who is the legitimate father, he's in prison.
Right. So I guess the name of the father on the birth certificate will help.
That's right, yeah.
So if the father's name is not on the birth certificate, you may not qualify.
Right, yeah.
As simple as that. You have to follow the rules. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Today I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramtal, Social Welfare Advisor. And we're going to take a short break, go into some important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. If you may have any questions or concerns, you can send me a WhatsApp message to 3847142, or you can call in. Anything to do with social welfare, please feel free to stick and stay with us. Ask and you shall receive. Let's go to these messages.
2050 install, yes, the Adina 12K Flex series are back in stock and these are going fast. Here's a look at some of our actual installations so you can see the finishings for yourself. Tidy chunking, level mounts and clean workmanship every time. Fast cooling, energy efficient, quiet, durable and of course clean and professional installation every time. We have limited stock and the last shipment sold out in days. This is the Fixer Center's most requested AC units. It's perfect for bedrooms, offices and small living spaces. Get your unit installed for 2050 right here at the Fixer Center. You can visit us at Lightpole 109 Monroe Cunupia or give us a call at 434-1563.
Planning a concert, conference, wedding, or cultural celebration? Let Real TV broadcast your event to the world. From live streaming and on-air coverage to global reach across TV and online platforms, we make sure your big moments are seen and heard everywhere. We offer professional production, worldwide exposure, and an unforgettable impact. Don't just host your event, let us share it with the world. Contact Real TV today, where your story becomes everyone's experience.
Call us today at 2926470 or WhatsApp us at 3847142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
Broadcast your yagnas, weddings, and Hindu celebrations live on Real TV. Share your special moments with us. Share your devotion with the nation. Call us at 373-8946 or email realtv.corporate@gmail.com to host your celebration today.
To you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. For those of you on Tego, the app, remember to download it. The app is absolutely free on your device and you could watch Real TV real time anytime, all right? So you're not, at any point in time you could view Real TV, and that is the beauty of Tego, the app, anywhere you may be in the world. So welcome back. Today I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramtal. He's a social welfare advisor. And today he's talking to us about the public assistance grant. Mr. Shankar Ramtal is a social welfare advisor. Why he becomes an advisor and a good person at it is because he served this land for many years and trained and certified. So he knows exactly the ins and outs, you know, what is necessary, what is not necessary, what is required, and of course how guiding us on how those in need can get those grants. Yeah, welcome back, Mr. Ramtal.
Thank you very much, Al. We move on to the maximum of monthly public assistance grant effective January 2019. All right, previous to 2019 the grants were at a lesser amount, but since January 2019 the grants were increased.
Yes.
Because things went up and the government responded by increasing the...
Correct.
Good. The quantum of the public assistance grant for one person would be $1,300. So if one person applied, that person would get $1,300 per month. If two persons, if the application is on behalf of two persons, the grant would be $1,550 per month. And if the application is for three persons, the grant would be $1,750 per month for the three persons.
Okay.
And then for four or more persons, the grant would be $1,900 per month. And of course, I mean, these grants were implemented 2019. Clearly, the prices of commodities and foodstuff and other items have increased since then, you know, and I am sure that government might be, you know, thinking about raising the quantum of these grants, you know, to become more realistic with prices, because since 2019, prices would have gone up tremendously.
Right.
Right? Now, what are the required documents to qualify for the public assistance grant? One, a computerized birth certificate and affidavit, if necessary. Your ID card, of course, national insurance information to ensure whether you are entitled to national insurance benefits, a bank book or recent bank statement to indicate your status in the bank.
Right.
Your marriage certificate where applicable, a child's birth certificate where applicable, a death certificate where applicable in cases where the head of the household has died and so on, and other documents relevant to the application. For example, clients may need to complete forms issued by the Social Welfare Office in respect of student employment to indicate whether these persons are undergoing some form of training in classes, receipt of national insurance benefits, you know, again, to indicate whether you're entitled, might be, and medical information.
Okay.
Right. Now, just to repeat the quantum of these grants, the public assistance grant for one person is $1,300. The public assistance grant for two persons is $1,550 per month. The quantum of the grant for three persons is $1,750 per month. And the quantum of the grant for four or more persons is $1,900 per month. So any more than four persons, there's no increase in the grant. So
Okay.
the maximum of the grant is $1,900 per month for these persons.
Understood.
Yeah. And it is important that families go through their grant, use their grant wisely. Because that is the amount that you would receive. And you would have to somehow or the other try to allow this grant to carry you throughout the month. Because it would not be nice for your grant to be expired or exhausted by the middle of the month, and then you don't know where the next meal is coming from. And especially when children are involved, because when children are hungry, they're hungry. You understand?
Telling me?
Yes, we have to get things for children, especially, adults may make a sacrifice and skip a meal or something like that, but with children, you cannot justify, and explain to children there's nothing to eat and things like that. That's unreliable. So you really have to handle the grant wisely.
Mr. Ramtahal, the truth is, there's no hidden fact that a lot of people, a lot of families in this country are not as privileged as others in terms of being able to afford 3 square meals a day. And more I'm beginning to understand the reality that that is something that is absolutely true and real. And it is because I have firsthand conversations with people, especially with NGOs. So I say thanks to Trinidad and Tobago and the public, and for those wonderful people that step out of their comfort zone and they, try to help in terms of an NGO to give hampers or to give hot meals. Yesterday I was talking to a young dynamic man who is involved in an NGO, and he was talking about giving hot meals, and they cook sometimes food for 800 people.
Wow.
And that area, and sometimes that is not enough, that people look forward to even the hot meals that you provide. So that says something, Mr. Ramtahal, in terms of how people in our country are really struggling.
Yes.
To pay their bills, to live day to day. They get up today and they wonder, how am I going to survive today? And I say it all the time and I repeat it because it's the truth and reality. And it's a wake-up call for others as well, not to waste, not to take life for granted, and what you have, what God has provided for you, you've provided for yourself, you work hard and do that. But just don't take it for granted and waste, because there are people who would cherish that. They look forward to that, to have that. They don't even know. Like I say, there are parents who send their children to school. They struggle and send them to school. But they're sure that they're getting at least one good meal, or they're getting a little breakfast or lunch for the day, because they don't know what they could provide in the evening. Perhaps that's the only meal they will have for the day. So the truth is, we do have citizens in this country that are not as privileged as others. They are living in real hardship. And so thanks to these grants and thanks for, I want to say now, citizens who step out, who have formed NGOs or out of their own, not even NGOs, but they, out of the goodness of their heart, they cook on a Sunday. I know that there are people, when they cook a Sunday lunch every Sunday, they cook a little extra and they box out a couple and they give it, and it's not, they don't have to do a lot, but they know they're still feeding some other people. And that is applaudable for people who do things like that. In your environment, if a simple thing as when you cook your Sunday lunch, and down the street there's an elderly man or elderly couple, or even one person living alone, and that they're not taken care of, that they can't get up and cook. Do you know what it is? It's a blessing that you could knock on their door and say, good morning or good afternoon, I brought a little lunch for you today, that you're sure they're eating a little meal. That is a blessing.
Of course it is. And that person would have light up.
Of course, and they're grateful. Sometimes their own family abandon them. So it is the little things that we do that will make such a big difference and the impact in somebody else's life. And that is extremely important. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV. You be the light in somebody's dark day. You be the sunshine in somebody who's having a difficult time in life. You can make a difference. And you don't have to give a lot. You give a little out of the goodness and kindness of your heart, what you could afford, and your blessings will be multiplied. What you give is what you get in return, right? So let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
For dry goods, bar supplies, and all your favorite beverages, visit Suku's Limited, located at number 70 Queen Street, Marabella. We supply local groceries, mini-marts, bars, lounges, caterers, home entertainers, and everyone in between. Your trusted importer, distributor, and retailer. Call us today at 298-9989 or email sales@sukus.com.
Real TV, where we keep it real all day, every day. If you're loving the entertainment, the news, and all the content we bring, then don't just watch, be part of the movement. Follow us on every platform you use: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Share this with your family and friends, your group chat. Let them know Real TV is the new wave. Real TV, news, entertainment, information, bringing reality to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspire on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
To all of our local, regional, and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Today, I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Amtal, Social Welfare Advisor, and he's talking to us about the grants that are available, the general grants, the public assistance grants that are available for those in need. And welcome back, Mr. Amtal. I get so many messages weekly with people who tell me they're so grateful for the information because they themselves were not aware of these other grants that are available that can assist and help, you know. And I would say knowledge is power. And if you have the knowledge, whether you work with somebody or your neighbor or family that you know that they need and they really genuinely need, then this is information that you could share with them, all right, to get that assistance.
Right. I would like to enlighten our population as to the quantum of grants that are available to the public.
Right.
Now, the Ministry of Social Development is that ministry that is entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring that our citizens are assisted when necessary. And I point out that deliberately when necessary, because there are a lot of people who can survive on their own, but still go towards any agency that is providing assistance. You understand? So that it is important that we separate the sheep from the goats. Good. Now, the social welfare division is that arm of the Ministry of Social Development that is responsible for food support grant, disability grant, public assistance grants, senior citizens pension, general assistance grants, and other grants like clothing, a dietary grant, a domestic help grant, education grant, a funeral grant, and other grants to assist our population who qualifies to enhance their quality of life. We as citizens do not contribute to these grants. These grants are provided by government, any government that is in power. It is provided to the government to ensure that those citizens who are in need and qualify for some form of assistance is assisted appropriately. Okay? I can tell you that government tries its best to ensure that they assist the needy population as best as possible. However, I can also tell you there are a lot of citizens who migrate to foreign countries and are receiving assistance from government, which is not correct. You understand?
Absolutely wrong.
That's right.
You're very, very correct.
Yes.
And you know, these things do anger me because there are people who genuinely suffering in this country and they need help, and you are there living life. You take that money and it's money that you probably
You go to
travel with, or you're
yes, you go to foreign
with, and,
countries.
and you're spending the money there, not even spending it back here. When you think of it, it's really wrong.
Yes, and I want to suggest to the authorities as well that we revisit the life certificate exercise.
Agreed.
Because I can tell you hundreds and maybe thousands of citizens, they migrate to foreign countries.
Right.
They spend the year there, and in the month of their anniversary date, when it is due to be renewed,
when they have to sign,
where they have to sign the book
that they are alive,
to indicate that they are alive and that their grants should continue, they come back to Trinidad.
Too many loopholes. You tell me we can't get that sorted or fixed. We can't have some sign. What is this now?
Because the life certificate exercise is not properly done. It is not properly done. So they know when to come back, and they come back and sign the book, but there are other documents that were once called for.
This is 2026,
2026,
right?
exactly.
We don't live in a backward time. You immediately, as somebody is registered into the country, I see now that we're going paperless now. So you know everything is online, and you do all, which is excellent, which shows progress, right? And I applaud that initiative. That's really nice. These long lines are signing this and writing out form and all this kind of craziness. People don't remember that they take out their passport. All kind of things. Okay, so we're happy that that has been rectified and we're moving forward in a positive way. So you can't tell me there could be some system that somebody entered the country and they punch in when they go in. That goes immediately to, you know, their records are in, you know, so they know this person has not been in the country, this person has been in the country, and it's questionable one time. I'm sure these things could be done. We have so many experts when it comes to technology and things like that. We can't have that in place, and people still taking advantage of the system.
And that was one of the reasons I went personally to the Prime Minister's office to indicate to her that it's a waste of our resources.
Of course.
It's a waste, because we could help many more people with those.
Most certainly, when all that money that is
and I am
wasted.
telling you, it's thousands of people.
When you accumulate it's
Exactly,
billions of dollars,
billions
you're
of
absolutely
dollars.
correct. That
So
could go back to the families in this country who are in need and suffering, especially when it comes to health and other things. You know?
Yeah.
When you have to face the grocery, and when you have to face the pharmacy, and you have to find the money to pay your bills. It's only when you're in the hot water, you know how hot it is, you know.
I mean, we are draining the resources of our country.
Absolutely correct. So you need to stop things like that.
Exactly.
Stop it.
And
charge people.
And you are here, and you have a lot of citizens here waiting for assistance over a long period of time.
Correct.
While these sums are given to people who are living abroad.
And listen, it's easy, you know, it goes into a bank account, it's accumulated, it's saved for the year, and at the end of the year, they have a lump sum, they party, they do whatever they want to do with it, and you have people suffering, and you live in large. This is wrong, you should be charged.
And I could tell you,
we need to have laws for these things.
Exactly. It is wrong. It is fraudulent, and I mean, it's a wrong example we are setting.
Absolutely correct.
You understand? And that's why I deliberately went to the office of the Prime Minister. I spoke
well,
to
I hope
attorney.
Madam Prime Minister gave you a hearing, and I hope that she will take what you take seriously, because you are a son of the soil. Apart from that, I've always said it, and I'm proud to say it, you are a strength because of the knowledge and experiences you have had in the system for years.
That's right.
And it's people who are trained and certified like yourself could help fix the problems, because you know the problems firsthand.
Exactly.
You live it, you see it, you've experienced it. And it's people like you that we really need to come in and say, well, this is the ill and we could fix it. This was my suggestion to this problem. This is my solution.
Right. Another issue that I want to raise is the public assistance grant. When you apply for all the grants, old age pension, public assistance, disability assistance, and all the other grants, if your case will be investigated, and if it's favorable, it will be approved from the month after you applied.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that happens with all the cases, all the grants except one. The one that is exempted is that your grant is approved only after the officer visits your home and make the necessary investigations, and once favorable, it is approved the month after that,
Right.
which is wrong.
Okay.
Because with the other grants, it is, whenever it is approved the month following the month you apply. You understand what I'm saying? So if you applied in January and I interviewed you in June, it will most likely approve the other grants. You applied in January, you would be approved from February.
Right.
So you will be getting arrears for the period you waited.
Ah, a lump sum.
With all the other grants except public assistance. Now, why it's unique? Public assistance is for the poorer class. It is for the poorer
The
class.
ones genuinely need. They live in hardships and they have problems.
Exactly.
And yes.
You know, I'm trying to put it in the simplest terms so that anyone listening or would understand what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because old age pension, you approve from the month after you apply. Even if you have to wait 2 years, you approve from the month after you apply.
Right.
Disability, same thing. The other grants, same thing, except public assistance.
And I think what you're establishing as well, which really makes sense, is even if you applied in one particular month and it's been approved, however, once it's approved, let's say you apply in January and it's approved in February, it's approved.
It's approved.
But then you don't get it, you don't start getting it until maybe March.
That's right.
Or April or May.
It takes 2 months.
Right. So let's just say it takes 2 months. The 2 months will be accumulated. You don't miss out. You get it.
You get it.
Or 3 months of, there are people who tell me they wait in years, a year and 2 years, right? So in some situations, you still get that lump sum. However, what I'm saying in public assistance, that doesn't happen.
And what is unique with public assistance, it's mainly children involved.
Right.
It's mainly children involved.
So you can't wait. When it comes to children and they're hungry or they have to get medication, or anybody, I think in general. But it's a little more sensitive with children because, you know,
and the children have more needs. They might be going to school. They might need books. They may need clothing. You know, it is unfair. It is unfair because all the other grants are approved retroactively. The public assistance grant is approved at the month it goes to the meeting. So the only waiting period before that is wasted.
Understood.
You understand?
Of course, and it makes sense. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. In conversation with Mr. Chankaramtal, Social Welfare Advisor. Today, he's talking to us about the public assistance, those grants that are available for public assistance. And when we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
$599.95 for this circular saw. This is the total 1400 watts, 7¼ inch circular saw. Proper power, 1400 watts pushing 4800 RPM. So when you're cutting, it's actually cutting. Clean cuts through board, framing and ply. No struggle. Adjustable cutting depth and bevel cuts up to 45 degrees for angle work. It comes with a 24 teeth circular saw blade and an extra pair of carbon brushes, so you are ready to go. And once again, it's only $599.95. So stop fighting with your tools. Upgrade to the 1400 watts now. Available now at the Fixes Center. You can visit us at Lightpole 109 Monroe Cunupia or give us a call at 434-1563.
I am Zelisa Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
Hey, I'm Enrique.
And I am Alicia.
And this is Voices of the People,
where Trinbago speaks.
Join us every Monday and Friday
from 2 to 3 p.m.
on Real TV,
where we give you, the people,
a voice.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, and international viewers. Thanks for choosing us. I'm in conversation with Mr. Shankar Ramtal. He's a social welfare advisor, and he's here today to advise us, and he's talking to us about the public assistance grants. Now, there are many people in this country who genuinely need help, and my now understanding of some of these grants that are available, you can qualify. Take note, even for those who would gain the knowledge to help others, to share with others, listen, this grant is available, explore your options to get some sort of public assistance, all right? Mr. Ramtal, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Just to remind the public, the pension grant is, you have an age limit, all right? The disability grant, you have an illness limit.
Right.
Right? The public assistance grant, and all these two grants before, whenever it is approved from the month after you apply.
Correct. As we indicated before the break.
The public assistance grant is that grant which takes care for children, mainly children who are going to school or, and things like that. And whenever it is approved at the month of the meeting, unlike the other grants which is approved retroactively. So if the other grants are approved retroactively, then the public assistance grant, which targets children especially,
right,
that should be also approved retroactively, because children have more needs than adults.
Of course they do.
Adults make sacrifices. Children, it is difficult for them to make sacrifices, and that's why I'm very committed. I'm very strong in trying to make this point to the authorities so that all the grants would be on par. The only grant that is not approved from the time they apply is the public assistance grant.
Now, I wanna get clarity with regards to those who are now seeing the show for the first time, because we did discuss this before.
Yes.
We did discuss this topic. But for new viewers or people who perhaps didn't understand the last time, what are some of the requirements that are needed to be able to, when you go to the social welfare offices, that you would need to have on hand, that you don't have to go, oh, you have to get, they know to take it with them, because if you have to go back, it's a cost involved, it's a charge, right? In terms of for yourself, your transportation, your time, different things, right? So prevention is better than cure. In terms of have your things ready, your paperwork ready, so when you go in, you could start immediately to have the whole process started, rather than have to waste time to start at a later time.
Yes.
Right? What are some of the documents that are needed?
First thing that I'm not pleased about is that when new officers come on, they should be trained as a group.
Right.
As a group. So everyone would have the same, knowledge available
right.
them.
Yes. So and you have the same culture and pattern of how things happen. Agreed.
Yes. It shouldn't be left to this supervisor or training this group and that supervisor training this group. You could have differences in the delivery and in the advice and things like that. You understand? New officers came on recently and they would just rush to the offices. I don't know who trained them or what orientation they were exposed to or what. I mean, I could have do it. But so that's why you need to have everything done uniformly.
And everybody on the same
page. That's right.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's only then things will run smoothly.
I agree. And that happens across the board, eh?
Yes.
Not just there, but everywhere. Right? Even in your home, you have to have some level of order. You understand what I'm saying? That is why the homemaker, that person who is in charge of having things in the house in order, you have the house will run smoothly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? And it's the same sort of thing that you should have across the board.
When I was a supervisor, I would use the Friday afternoon at a training, training time, where you put everybody to sit, and even the clerks, because sometimes they have to advise.
You're absolutely correct. And you know what is also important? I think you have a question and answer segment.
Yes.
So, I always say, even in the days when I used to lecture on broadcasting, let me tell you something. I would walk in front of that class and I would insist and say, let me tell you all something to start with. Ask and you shall receive. There's no question that is a stupid question for the person that's asking a question, because they are seeking an answer.
Especially in training.
So training. So if you don't understand something, you ask. It's something I even teach my daughter. I say, Malika, when you are in class and you don't understand something, simply put your hand up and say, Miss or Sir, can you please explain? I don't understand.
That's right.
And I say with her, even with mommy, I say, even if I say something to you and you don't understand, don't assume. Say, mommy, I did not understand. Can you explain? And so, and it's the same, I am, if I am speaking to somebody, I'll tell you, and I don't understand what you're saying. Could you please explain that?
I do that too.
I don't think that's stupid. If you don't understand, you need to understand it. Just simply say. So there's no question that's a stupid question to ask.
And anybody make that comment, that is not a nice person.
Yeah. Because people that say, what kind of dotish is he asking me?
Yeah.
What kind of, if the person, so when you have sessions, and I do it here with the staff as well.
Yeah.
When we have our meetings, I allow everybody to say their piece, or say what they have to say. We take notes and then we elaborate on it, go back to, to be able to explain. So people, do you understand? You're sure you understand? And then you move on. That's the only way, even listen, Mr. Ramtal, even with your husband or with your wife, you can misunderstand things. You can misinterpret. Even with your family. With family, you misinterpret the way they say things, they do things, or you think, and that could create a whole storm. prevention is better than cure. What is going on? I don't really understand. You could explain to me?
Yeah.
You know, it's very simple. It's either they explain or they explain. It's either they get clarity or you don't get clarity. But that's the only way you can move forward.
And in a session like that, Zal, you have a group of persons, and about 5 of them might not be clear as to what is delivered. But some of them shy, some of them covered. But if one person asks the question, everybody benefits.
Well, this is what happens
Everybody
even
benefits.
on conversations.
That's
when
right.
Other shows, when one person will ask a question, there are thousands that are waiting. Oh, I didn't know that, you know, but that's real good and that's true. You know, so you are helping others as well. But you're correct. If we just have some more meetings and you have a little intense training and role playing, you know, you get, you know, and you get into it, people will understand things in a better way. And it's the same way if you want across the board in progress, you really have to have the right people that are serving good morning, good afternoon, that, you know, they are very serious about what they do. They're committed to their jobs. And they're not playing only jobs, because there are people that go there that are compromised, they're sick.
Yeah.
They're dealing with somebody that just died. They're dealing with their personal illness. They're struggling. They're not coming there in the first place if they're not struggling.
Yeah. And you have to be pleasant too.
Oh gosh,
good morning,
how
good
you
afternoon.
doing?
How can I
Exactly. How can tell me what I could do to help you? Let's see what we could do to get the situation resolved. Don't worry. And you know, even if the attendants don't understand, hold on a minute, huh? Let me talk to my supervisor.
Right.
And let me see how we can solve this today. Just wait a little minute. Go and knock on the door of your supervisor. Sir, ma'am, morning, you know, this is the situation. Guide me, please. Let's see if we could get some help.
Yeah.
Then there are supervisors that claim they're supervisor and don't do nothing. They're on the phone all day, or they're on their personal matters and they're not bothered what is going on in the office. Once people collecting a salary, there are people who just don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not bothered. They're just making up time. They're on the phone. They do an honest day job and do what you're supposed to do.
Zal, one compliment I received was, Mr. Ramtal, the most I learned under this job was under you. Because Friday afternoons, I would use the whole session, even the clerks. They're not officers, but they're clerks, because they interfere with the applications and so on.
Of course. Even bringing the security guard in all your meetings.
Exactly. How do you,
Because the security guard is the first person. Good morning, good afternoon, hold on, let me get a seat for you. Wait a minute, we have a number system. Whatever the system is, don't be here, there and everywhere. Work together cohesively. That's how you'll get growth and success. That's how you'll have a successful day.
And the security officers play an important role, you know.
Of course.
Because the first person they encounter is that, they would say, good morning, I'm here, so and so.
And mind you, I'm now, we talking about the system, but let me address people too. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you don't go there and abuse people as well. The same way you're expecting good treatment and you're expecting a good morning, you could say, good morning, sir. Good afternoon. Seeking some assistance, you know. Some of you feel that the world owe you everything. Have a little discipline in your life as well. You know, what you give is what you get. We've got to wrap things up. My director is telling me. Your closing comments, sir.
Well, Zal, as usual, it's my pleasure to be here and share whatever information I have. I've gone through the system thoroughly, all the offices, you know, and I have done well with it. I was granted a scholarship.
Yes.
Because of my good work and so on. And I don't mind giving back.
Beautiful.
Giving back.
I thank you kindly, Mr. Ramtahal. May God bless you, and we trust in who will see you soon on the program as you continue to share your wealth of knowledge and experiences with us here so that our citizens can benefit. Yeah? Yes. All the best. This is where we're going to wrap things up, my dear friends. I want to thank you for choosing us. I want to remind you to be good law-abiding citizens, to do what is right at all times. And you know what makes you even a more powerful person? Do what is right when nobody's watching. Give what is right. Give if you can. But it is behind your back. The way people behave or the way people say things is what matters. That is where true honesty is applied. Something for us all to think about. Keep smiling, be positive. Always remember that with God and only God, all things are possible. Again, thanks for choosing us here at Real TV. Stick and stay, ultimate in programming. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani. Have yourselves a great day. Be safe, be blessed. See you soon.